we are moving into cities where there are even less opportunities to be active. It's very difficult to find open green spaces. We know from lots of studies that physical activity is extremely important. Now the world is talking about exercise as medicine. The world is facing huge challenges in terms of cost for medication for type 2 diabetics and other lifestyle diseases. And now more and more research shows that some of the best medicine, that's actually exercise. You can make type 2 diabetics free of medication, for instance.
KOMPAN builds outdoor fitness sites around the world to create happier and healthier communities.
Often it shows that we are engaging many previously inactive users that come to our sites, and because it's freely available 24/7, then they actually start exercising.
Welcome to this presentation. My name is Morten Zacho. I'm manager for KOMPAN Fitness Institute. Before I start the actual presentation, I would like to say a few words about what kind of a company KOMPAN is. We are a company original from Denmark. We are a global provider of solutions for playground and for outdoor fitness. We are typically known for things like this here, fantastic playgrounds with lots of creativity and play value. But since 2008, we have also been selling outdoor fitness equipment. And in 2015, we established KOMPAN Fitness Institute for us to bring it up another notch on the quality. And KOMPAN Fitness Institute is an institution for bringing in science, evidence into the concepts and the products that we create, and also validating them that they actually work in the way they're intended. So that's also some of the things I will talk about today, the difference between yesterday's products and today's outdoor fitness products. Now, since 2016, we have been developing products that have increased what you can expect from outdoor fitness, and I'll also cover what that means. So, my topic for today is new trends in outdoor fitness, and already on this rendering you see that it's probably a little bit different from what else you have seen of previous outdoor fitness installations. And the topics I will cover is first a few words on the global trend for exercising outdoors, then something about the status of outdoor fitness equipment, because so many things have happened and it's really a different world today when it comes to that. Then I'll talk about new concepts for commercial fitness, and I will talk about new concepts for public fitness. Now, first, the global trends for exercising outdoors. It was already a trend before the corona crisis hit the world, but it was very much accelerated because of that. And there are several reasons for it. Of course, you get all the same benefits from exercising outdoors as when you exercise indoors, but on top of that, you also get the benefits from being exposed to natural daylight and to natural sunlight. And that has a tremendous impact on regulation of our sleep pattern, of our mood, and also on our immune function. And that came very much in focus with the corona crisis. And then on top of that, it's very corona safe to exercise outdoors because there's no accumulation of particles, and also the virus cannot survive on surfaces in outdoor environments. So it's a very safe alternative for exercising outdoors compared to indoors. So that has really been driving the increased interest in what can we do for outdoor fitness solutions. Then there's the thing about equipment, and most of you probably have an idea about what outdoor fitness is, and it's probably based on what you have seen in cities and parks where you live, and it's probably the previous generations of outdoor fitness, but the things have changed tremendously. So now you can say outdoor fitness equipment is fully comparable to the quality of commercial indoor fitness equipment in terms of functionality and also design and user friendliness. And now there's also a large diversity of different types of equipment available, so you can tailor the sites you create for just the specific users you have in mind. And to highlight what really has happened, I have here on the left side a product from 2007, 8, around that, more than 10 years old. And then on the right side, I have a modern version of the same product, the Cross Trainer, which is one of the most popular items in indoor fitness. And as you can see, they look very different. The design is different. And it's not just design, it's also the ergonomics. The user will, without even knowing much about ergonomics, they will just feel it's very good to use the modern version. It's very user-friendly. You can adjust resistance with a touch screen. And since the resistance is adjustable, it fits everyone. It goes all the way from 25 watts up to 750 watts. And that is from very low up to very, very high. So it's a totally different story, and it actually gives a lot of user enjoyment and motivation to use the modern version, whereas the item on the left, nobody would really use it for a prolonged period of time. Also, modern type of cardio outdoor equipment can be connected to your smartphone, and on that you can connect to third-party apps like the very popular Swift app, where you can compete, ride your bicycle against others in a virtual universe. And that again also increases motivation and use of the products a lot. You can also save your data when you have finished a session. You can save your data for Google Health or Apple Health Kit, whatever you prefer there. So for the cardio scene, it's in some cases even better what you see in a typical indoor setting. If you want to look more into how our approach to doing these things, then there's a white paper available from our website where we describe the scientific approach we had when we developed the Cross Trainer. And as you can see on these pictures here also, we took it to the lab, we evolved and we validated that it actually works fully as intended. So far, there has been one thing missing in the outdoor fitness scene, and that has been selectorized strength training equipment. And that is, these type of machines are typically the bread and butter of indoor fitness centers. Everybody knows how to use them, and they are popular because it's a very easy and safe way for training your muscles, whether you want to do it for appearance or whether you want to do it for function. So these are popular and well known. But they are now from 21 available also for outdoors. And as you can see here, it's the same, it's the same design concept. People will recognize these machines and know what they do just by looking at them. And inside the box, of course, there's a weight stack, and you can select in a very easy manner what weight you want to train with. So with that, now a wide range of different types of equipment is available. And as you see, it's not all products, it's just representatives for the different categories. And to the left, you have products that are typically popular among youth. So it's street workout, it's body weight training. Need to know a little bit more about exercises to use that. Then in the middle category, you have things that are easy to use, very efficient, functional strength training, cardio training, the stuff that everybody typically uses and prefers. And then to the far right, you have a special section for aging population. And we have an increased aging population worldwide. So there's also demand for specialized products targeting that. But all that is available today. So it's possible to create many different types of appealing sites to your users. Now, first, a few words on the new trends that we see within the commercial fitness industry for going outdoors. This year was very much driven by the Corona crisis because centers worldwide were physically shut down and they had to look for alternatives. And they were still allowed to do outdoors training. But what they also discovered was, two things. One thing was that it was very popular among the users. They continued to demand that also even after the fitness centers opened last summer. And the other thing they discovered was that it's actually a very solid business model because the investment in equipment is either at the same level as indoor or typically lower. And at the same time, the running costs for buildings, for heating, air conditioning, utility cost, all of that is of course much, much lower in the outdoor settings. So the business model is also there, and this is a trend that will probably continue also after this current corona crisis is over. And just to give you one example, here's from Germany, a city called Freilassing. What they did a few years ago was that they added an outdoor facility to their existing indoor facility. And one of the things they wanted to, problems they wanted to solve was that they, at a specific period over the year, they were losing members. And then they had to bring in new members again to stay at the same level. But after they had installed this outdoor setting, what they saw was that they retained their members to a much higher degree, and they even added new members. And that meant that they had a return of investment within 2 years. Now, this illustration here, this really shows what can be done today in terms of replicating the indoor experience to the outdoors. It's an illustration of a rooftop. That is a suggestion for a specific fitness center. You have a normal fitness center in the under the roof there, and then you have the outdoor version on top of that. And what you see of this render here is that at the end you have the Selectorized strength training machines. Then in the middle part here you have functional strength training of different kinds. And then all the way to the right you have a place where you can do barbell exercises. That is, most often that is only possible in a gated area and not in a public park, for instance. But that is also the case here in a fitness center, of course. And then you have a full line of cardio equipment here with bikes and cross trainers. And taking advantage of the fact that it is outdoors and it's placed in a way so they have a view, and it's a much better experience for doing cardio this way here. So this here, this will be a very attractive solution for members. It will be highly popular. Now, moving on to what is happening of new trends for outdoor fitness in the public scene. And what we saw earlier, 10 years ago and more, was that there was definitely a wish from municipalities of doing something, providing health for their citizens. But often the installations were relatively small sites, and also with this previous generation of fitness equipment that really isn't that useful. And that has led to the misconception that outdoor fitness is not as effective as indoor. But what we have seen is that there is now more focus on providing quality and volume, and also providing settings, as you see on this picture here from Guangzhou, China, that you create spaces that are really nice to be in, where people want to go and exercise. So we see more attractive and relevant use of space. So the diversity and the quality is increased, but we are also seeing a trend towards bigger sites, not just bigger sites, but really much bigger sites. And I will cover that in a few slides. But before I go to the really big sites, I will also talk about that what it could look like if you have this absolutely state-of-the-art, medium-sized public offering of a fitness site. And it could look like this year, where you have the modern cardio, you have the modern strength training equipment, but you also have items that are for stretching, mobility, balance, gait controls. So this is an example of a more targeted solution towards public health, and still within a relatively small area. And if we are making it even more specialized, and this here is let's say an optimal solution for an aging population. This could be for a senior residential area, for instance. So what you see on this picture here is that you still have just 3 strength training machines, the 3 most important strength training machines, where you can do leg press, pull, and push with your arms. Then you have cardio that is very easy to access, a bike with low entrance height, something you can use even with poor mobility. And then you also have the arm bike, if you're for wheelchair users. And then you have items that are targeted towards fall prevention and gait control, and that's really important for the aging population. And then combined with other items for balance and stretching and so on. So this is a good example of a perfect solution for active agers. This is a medium-sized solution here. Often there's a request for smaller solutions for this population. So this is an example of a smaller site for seniors. And the reason for that is that one thing is that space can be limited, but it's also that it's good to have these sites quite close to where people are, where they live, where they come by within walking distance. So the proximity factor is quite important. And also it can be, more that these sites here are overviewable. You can easily see what you need to do. And so these are also popular for seniors, this size of sites here. Now, moving on to the bigger sites, I will start with an example from the US. And this here is Stuytown in New York. And what they did a few years ago was that they took an asphalt hockey field that wasn't being used very much, and then they changed it into what you see on this picture here. And Stuytown in New York is a residential area with 25,000 people living there. And after they created this site here, what they saw was that about 28% of the residents used the site on a regular basis. And about a quarter of those were not previously members of any fitness center. So it attracted new people to become physical active. And we could also see that they were actually active for a full exercise session. It was not just 5 minutes, it was on average 48 minutes. It is open from 7 o'clock in the morning until sunset. There's always a supervisor in place at the site just to provide safety and answer questions, even though that person will not be a trainer. And then there's also camera surveillance for increased safety. So we are actually seeing a request for even bigger sites and specifically concepts like what you see here. And we are now able to provide them, and there are several sites worldwide being created based on the same concept. That's what you see here. And what's specific about this is that here is a gated area again, but it could also be ungated. But here you have a cafe, a social space, a place to hang out before and after you have exercised. You have dedicated special areas. So if we start over here on the left, you have functional training, 2 sections. You have Selectorized strength training. You have large cardio area. And notice that the cardio area is placed so you can overview the playground here in the middle. You also have a section just for group exercises. And on this example here, there's a beach volley and there's a CrossFit section as well. But especially the thing that you have a playground in the middle, so the whole concept gets a family appeal. That is very popular and being, what has been asked for a very long time, because normally you would see parents going to the park and the kids playing, and they would sit on a bench looking at their smartphone, or vice versa, that the parents would go to the fitness center alone and the kids would stay home and look at their iPads. But now the whole family can go to the same setting and be active and have contact, even though they're doing different things. And it's just a super great place for people to go. And the fitness industry is also seeing this year as a way of expanding their member base. And the public offerings or the municipalities are seeing this year as a way of creating really popular physical activity sites for the whole family. So this is very interesting that what direction this is taking here. That was my last message in this presentation here. I hope that you got some inspiration and maybe also some new insight into what outdoor fitness actually is today, what stage we are at, and also how it is changing the scene for commercial fitness and also changing the scene for public fitness offerings. If you have any questions or want to know more, then please reach out to your local KOMPAN representative, and they will be more than happy to answer your questions and help you with whatever you want. So with that, I would like to say thank you for participating, and hope to see you again another time. Thank you.